love the flow. 69, now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground, to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground, to halt the spread of lies, and any America first, America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground, to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground, to halt the spread of lies, and any America first, America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow.
You know, back when I was in the academy, we would follow every toast with a song.
And lost round of American Racing League. I am your commentator for the night, Noel Theory. And before we get started with the day, I just want to let you know that I am sick. So you may hear sniffles, coughs, things of that nature. I will do my best to mute the microphone like I'm about to do right now, so you don't get any kind of gross, nasty sounds as we're going about the race. So before we get started, what I'm going to do here is lower the in-game audio settings just a tad, because some of the feedback that people have given me is the game volume's a little too loud compared to my voice. And actually, just for safety, I'll go down to 4 today. And the reason being, my microphone's not that loud, and, well, the game is. So we're going to be doing that today. And if you haven't already been able to guess, we are in Imola, the other Italian circuit that is in the F1 season. We went back to Imola a couple years ago, 2020, at the season of the pandemic, because no one was racing with anyone. Just every motorsport was completely shut down. The tracks were shut down. It was a really crazy time. And in order to fill the calendar, Formula One needed to be pretty creative. So we had a few races more than once at some circuits. We had like back to back. If I'm not mistaken, Imola may have been one of the tracks where we raced at twice in 2020 because of the fact that the whole world was shut down for COVID. But regardless of that, we are here today at Imola for round 3 of the American Racing League. And before we really get into it, I do want to make sure that we are live and you can hear me. Because, yep, okay, you can hear me. Last week, if you were watching, I spent a good 40 minutes talking into the microphone with it muted, so nobody really could hear me. And that was unfortunate because I felt like I did a really good job with commentary. That's okay though. I thought I sounded good, and that's really the only thing that matters, right? Is how we perceive ourselves. So we're riding on board with Chico, who is on his flying lap right now, just going through sector 2 here. As I get the spectator screen going. I am so sick. Sorry for the disaster here, but I think we're good now. So Seeley Harvey set the benchmark time of 1:17.071, and Chico is looking to break that here as he crosses the start-finish line and is able to put himself into first position at a 1:16.080, who is right now in provisional pole. And we're going to be seeing what the other drivers are able to do to answer that. As Ludens is going into the pit. As AJ puts himself 1.4 seconds behind Chico, sitting on pole right now. With a 1:17.5. And so let me just give you a quick rundown of last week's championship results while I pull that up on my phone. We were in Mexico. And taking first position was AJ Jackson, or AJ Caesarian, or I don't even know what that stands for. Again, for his second win of this season. And then we had in second place Graz or Aaron, followed by What Noise in third, Tuck Neverlasting in fourth, Sealy Harvey in fifth. Wrath in sixth, Calculus in seventh, Boba Fett in eighth, Vlad Poutine in ninth. Who else we got? Ludens in 10th, Slick Rick 11th, Unverse in 12th, Evo in 13th, and Django in 14th with those who didn't finish, Tom Fisher, that guy Dex, and Maverick. So we have a good turnout today. We have 16 drivers. So I think we will have a lot of cars on track. I think it'll be a good race. And Calculus just put in a 1:17.5, which is good enough for P9. It's 1.4 seconds behind our leader Chico right now, as he does his in lap. And where is Ludens? So Ludens hasn't set a time yet. He's coming into sector 3, headed up to the final 2 turns before he starts his flying lap. We'll see what type of numbers he can put up on the board here and see where he ends up with 11 minutes remaining of qualifying. Okay, I just accidentally locked my stupid screen. What just happened? Okay. We are back. Yay. It would be nice if there was a way to actually see what the competitive sector times are. Like 24.5. I think the only way to do it is if I went to Race Director and looked at what he did. So 24.5. So 24.3, 26.3, 25.3. It makes it easy. Which, ow. So if you have a chair that reclines, make sure the pin is in so when you go and you lean back, you don't go flying back like I just did. But Purple Sector 2, Ludens has set. I remember someone telling me that the way the game works is if you get a purple sector, it's actually your best sector time, not the session's best sector time, which makes it absolutely confusing from like a commentator's perspective. As Ludens crosses the line at a 1:16.9, putting him just 8/10 behind Chico, who that was a phenomenal lap by Chico, I have to say. 1:16 flat. No one's really even come close, and even AJ being the one he is. I gotta check my mic again. It is on. Okay. Now, I mean, that is one heck of a time. So AJ being our championship leader now is going to have a little bit of work ahead of him if he wants to get on pole position for a second time this season. As we watch Sealy Harvey go past the finish line and takes pole position with a 1:16.015. 65/100ths quicker than Chico. Now setting the ultimate time for pole position. We will see what Noise is able to set coming across the line now. A 1:16.6, which is good enough for him to stay right where he is. And we are following Wrath past the finish line with a 1:17.1, and then whoa! Deke Surf set a 1:15.993. Now the track is starting to get a lot faster. So instead of jumping around trying to catch everyone going across the finish line, let's just hang out for a second with Dex and see what type of time he can put on. And just taking a look again at the benchmark times, we have, okay, that is not what I wanted. View lap times. So we're at 24, 3, 26, and 25, 4. Which I missed it again. AJ went the fastest and got pole position now, 1:15.8. But that's okay. And last week was such a phenomenal race. Just some of the highlights from that race was Evo and Tom Fisher going head to head, corner after corner. I'm telling you, that was probably the best thing to watch. And then you had the three-way fight between Unversed, Maverick, and there was someone else. I'm sorry. I want to say Calculus, but I honestly can't remember. My head is just fried. As Dex crosses the line at a 1:18.4, which is only good enough for P15. If he wants to move up, he's going to have to get significantly quicker with only 6 minutes left of the only 6 minutes left of qualifying. He's going to have to go in and get himself a fresh set of boots. And so both Alpha Tauris are on outlaps, it looks like, or just one. So now here we are with ACR going and starting his flying lap after having been absent for, or maybe he was here last week, but ACR making his return back to the grid after several weeks of absences. I mean, the story he puts out there is that it was health issues, but in confidence he told me, listen, I don't want to embarrass the field. I want people to get ahead in the season so they feel confident and they feel good. But when I come in, I'm just going to absolutely crush it. So I'm going to skip a few weeks, let people get some points, feel good about themselves, and then I'm going to come in and run away with the championship. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. As he cleans up Sector 2 with 50.7, which is making this a competitive run. I'm pretty confident here he's going to be somewhere in the top 7, I think, with his Delta time right now. This comes around the last corner, heads down to the start-finish line, and is able to cross at a 1:16.3, putting him in P6, which is good enough for a third row. And we missed it, but it looked like Calculus was able to put up a 1:16.5 for P8, bringing him right next to his teammate for rows 4 and 5. And they say to get quicker, you need to race with faster people. And I could say, after having watched 2 weeks now of Maverick racing in this league at this level, he's absolutely gotten quicker. I don't think there is a debate at this point that Maverick can absolutely throw down with the rest of the field here. He may not be the top 5, but he's definitely somewhere in the middle pack around like 7 to 10, I think, is where he really situates himself at. So we'll see. He's got one more shot at improving his time, which he currently sits at 1:17.6. And he's looking for at least a 1:16.6 to bring him into the top 10 here, it looks like. Or, yeah, roughly. If you could get 1:16.6, that'd be great. And I just want to thank our pseudo sponsor again, Manscaped, who, if you haven't heard, makes some fantastic nose and ball trimmers. I take Manscaped with me anywhere I go. It is the smoothest razor, and it is great when you need to clean up those intimate parts. With the new Lawnmower 3.0, you will have the smoothest shave of your balls ever. Oh my goodness. Isn't that just such a silly ad, honestly? Manscaped. I don't. It's kind of a funny topic, but like, the gentlemen downstairs don't need that much trimming that I need a specific set of tools for it, you know? But it's funny that there's a product out there that helps serve that purpose. And it does look like Maverick was unable to improve, which makes him good for P14. If he has enough ERS, which it doesn't look like he really does, he could try to push for another lap. As ACR is he pushing? I think he is pushing. So we'll stay tuned into our top 5 right now, as it looks like they are all on flyers. And Seeley Harvey is 1 second down on what I believe is his best time, if I'm not mistaken. Now he's 1/100th down, I believe, at the end of Sector 1. Starting Sector 2. They should incorporate those delta times like they have in real life, where you could have 3 deltas up. That would be so cool. As he's 5/1000ths down on his best time right now. So he's going to have to really make up some time here in this last sector, as we have someone who was spun out at the start of Sector 2, which looks like to be Wet Noise, who is retiring on track. Unfortunately, that is his qualifying ended. And Seeley is getting a great tow from the McLaren, the Mercedes up front, as he sets a, I didn't quite get that, 1:15.9, which is only good enough for 5th place. Checking again. Okay, so we are still on with who's the front car here. So front car is Chico, and then AJ, and then Deek Surf. So that makes it very easy for me. And while they get up into Sector 3, we'll hang out here with ACR, as he is on a flyer as well. We'll see if he could improve for P7. Coming across the finish line now at a 1:15.7, which is good enough for 2nd place. What a drive! Good enough for the front row. Let's see if he can hang in there. As something happened at the chicane. I am not sure what happened. But that looks like it may have messed up his run. As Deek Surf comes across the start finish line and displaces ACR for 2nd place. And AJ comes across, and that is your qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, with your pole sitter Chico at a 1:15.626. Followed by Deek Surf, ACR, AJ, What Noise, Seeley Harvey, Major Castleman, Chase Ace, Calculus, Evo, Ludens, Tucker, Tuck Neverlasting, Wrath, Maverick, Slick Rick, Dex. It's very, 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 very close qualifying, if I have to say. If you look at the times here that we have up on screen, everyone's within 5/10ths of each other for the most part. Well, sorry. I'm actually a little wrong about that, because our pole sitter is in the 1:15s. So there is a little bit of a gap here, but it is Imola. I'm sure we will have a few safety cars, and it's anybody's game right now. I don't even know what the weather's going to be.
Do you remember when there were two genders and only one and a half of them had to shave their mustaches? Oh, hi. I'm Jeremy Boring, CEO and God King of the Daily Wire. Harry's Razors used to advertise on our shows. They're a great product, and we were happy to do it. That's before some peon who works for me went and said that boys are boys and girls are girls, and that was just too much for Harry's. They condemned our views. Views held by millions of Americans and virtually every human who's walked the planet until about 15 minutes ago as inexcusable. And they dropped their ads from our network because of what they called values misalignment. You're damn right our values are misaligned. And it's not just Harry's either. Gillette razors used to be the best a man could get. Then they decided that men are too toxic. Unless you're the kind of man who teaches his daughter to shave her beard. If that makes sense to you, keep buying Gillette. But if you've had enough of the woke bullshit, and you're tired of paying companies like Aries and Gillette to hate you, then buy mine the razor instead.
And that was your ad space for Jeremy's Razors, which I've never seen that commercial in my life. I thought that was pretty funny. As we get going with the formation lap here, with Chico sitting on pole position, who's going to have to get a really great getaway because he has Deegsurf sitting next to him in P2 and ACR and AJ right behind. And we know with Imola, it is absolutely about that run down to turn one. You have a really long run down until the first corner. And so you need to make sure you're able to get off that line as quick as possible and, hold the inside line so that someone doesn't get the jump on you going in. What are the tire strategies here? Did they show the tire strategies? Was I too distracted with trying to add some comedy into the stream? I do not know. But for Imola, 32 lap race, I'd have to say it's either mediums to hards or you're doing soft mediums, because this is not a track where you can really go soft medium. I guess you can, but you're going to be pushing your tires into the high 70%, and you could really get a puncture. If we do get more than one safety car, it eats up several of the laps here. It might not be that bad. So Chico is disqualified. So unfortunately, I think that's kind of messed him up a little bit. Trying to get off the line. Has Major Castleman, I don't know what just happened, but I'm sure the FIA, the stewards, are not going to look too pleased with that. As everyone is lining up now, and I'm trying to get a front view, but this game is what it is. So we can't get a front view. We're going to have to watch from the rear as our racers get underway. And it is 5 red lights, and we are racing. And I cannot tell if Chico got off to a good start. And yes, he was able to get ahead of Deegsurf into turn 1 as he leads the pack. And it is the Aston Martin of Sealy who goes off. A lot of position changes. Looks like Dex was able to jump 6 positions as our Championship leader fell back 9 places. I am very curious to know what happened back there. So we ride on board with him for a second to see if he has any damage. It does not appear he has any damage, so it looks good for his race so far. And from a tire strategy position, it's a mixed grid with half the grid on the mediums, half the grid on the hards. So it's really going to come down to, I guess, safety cars. If you have an early safety car, that might benefit the medium runners quite a bit, because those hards can do about 18 laps around here, 18-20 laps. As Chico sets the fastest lap to start us off. Let's see what we got. We'll give it, yep, 128 flat, and that time is only going to get faster as we continue. Now, Imola is not really known as a overtaking circuit, but I am sure these boys will absolutely do their best to gain positions here. Wrath already DNF'd. I did not catch that, but I'm curious to see what had happened. So I'm going to pop over in the Discord while you guys watch Chico. Yep, just like I said. Medium hards. It's weird that saying soft medium hards for the two-stop strategy, because that's a bit overkill. Alright, so nothing too juicy in the comments, but apparently there was some drama during qualifying, which I don't know that I caught. Deke Surf is just right on the back of Chico here, not letting him go, staying within that DRS range for sure. And the top 4 are staying close together. Top 5, I should say. But right now, it looks like it's going to be turning into a 4-way battle for first place, with Chico, Deke Surf, ACR, and Major Castleman setting the pace for the rest of the field, with What Noise, Calculus, and Chase not too far behind. Oh, and ACR spins coming out of, is it called like the Aqua de la Sol corner or something like that, because it's sponsored by a water company? Aqua Mineral. Aqua Mineral, I believe that was Aqua Mineral. Now, it looks like Slick Rick was able to get ahead of ACR there, as Rachel Castleman sets the fastest time of the race as Deke Surf gets ahead into turn 1. Alright, I'm not going to go anywhere else. I see a lot of position changes, but I'm going to keep tuned right here on the battle between Chico and Deke Surf for first. Oh, what did I do? They are pulling away pretty rapidly from the rest of the pack. And they're even starting to drop Major Castleman here. He's been trying to hang on tight for 4 laps now. Coming down into Sector 3. Chico is definitely going to be getting that DRS. And I am sure he is going to be able to make that. As long as he stays close with Chico, let's ride on board and see if he's able to do it. He is not using the ARS right now, so I think he is strategically sticking with a more conservative plan, as it looks like we have a safety car. ACR has unfortunately crashed coming out of turn 15, the last corner, and that brings us out the safety car. What other good ad spots can I do for you? Let's see. I don't know. I could do Birch Gold Group, but you know what? Let me just focus on the racing for now, instead of trying to insert my own little comedy here. I do have a dad joke book somewhere. I could grab that while we watch the drivers go around in circles because there's a safety car. I do have to find the book. Here it is. Alright, so maybe I start incorporating this into my broadcasts. Ooh, I also do have some... Nah, I'm not going to do that. I'll probably just feel bad. Or maybe I will. No. I have some gummies I was thinking of taking, but what is going on? Are people pitting, or is there some kind of like overtaking thing going on back here? What is going on? Wasn't there a safety car? Or was I wrong? Alright, well, we're back to racing again. I'm guessing that was just a VSC, and I'm a dum-dum. So Deke Surf is 1.7 seconds ahead of Major Castleman, who did get a 3-second penalty. So he is currently racing against Chico, who is quite a ways behind. Alright, so now I'm seeing what's happening. The grid is starting to split up quite a bit. Oh, here's a fun fact. If you turn the track of Imola clockwise 90 degrees, it looks like a duck swimming in water. And unfortunately, it looks like Calculus has spun it. And is he going into the pits? Yeah, it looks like he's going to go into the pits here. Which isn't a bad call considering he was right there. Alright, so Sealy, Harvey, and Evo are racing for P5. So they are both on the same tires. Sealy is all over the back of Evo, going over to Aqua Mineral. And I think Sealy might even get it done right here. Coming back to the start-finish line, Sealy was able to keep it within 3/10 here. He's going to get a good run on Evo as he makes that pass look so easy going into the first corner. And now he has to hunt down Chase, who is on those medium tires. So I think we are getting close to the crossover point between the mediums and the hards, but we have a few more laps, I feel, before those hards really start to take advantage of their life. Right on board for a moment with our championship leader, AJ, who's currently sitting in P7, looking to capitalize on the overtake that just happened up ahead on Evo. He is hungry to get up into a higher position. And it looks like Dex has gone off the track. And he is running again. And AJ knows better not to overtake here because then you have the DRS right ahead. And with a... Honestly, the DRS is too powerful on the straight. I knew they needed a DRS zone, but guys, it is so powerful on this track. I think DRS is a little inappropriate for Imola, just saying. Because he has a little look, but thinks the better of it. Now Evo is starting to push Sealy up ahead, and we have a three-way fight here for P5 between Sealy, Evo, and AJ. AJ is just all over the place, and he's able to make the overtake beautifully into the hairpin of Sector 2. Dex looks like he has retired into the pits. I don't know if he had wing damage or if he was too far behind, and Evo spins. I didn't see it, but me thinks he spun himself. But if not, I'm sure we will see an incident report later. Meanwhile, we still have a battle going on between Evo and Sealy, but it looks like Sealy was able to drop Evo back just slightly. And Slick Rick now, with that spin out from AJ, who is now sitting in P9, has an opportunity to overtake, going exiting turn corner 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15 or whatever. You know what's really burning the ERS, so he's just, he knows he has the strength of the DRS. Woohoo! Oh! Not sure if that was considered racing room or not, but probably closer to a racing incident. Oh man, I'm having a craving for some empanadas right now. I wonder if I should go get some empanadas later. They're just so good. And if you haven't had it, mozzarella arepas with like the sweet corn, it's basically a dessert. It is so delicious. You don't even need meat, just get that melty mozzarella cheese with that corn dough, and it's just wonderful. I don't know how much sugar they put in that thing, but whew, it's tasty. Alright, so we do have quite a gap here between P1 and and P13. 38-second gap, and the gap from P1 back to P5 is a 10-second gap. So unless there is a safety car, it looks like the battle right now is going to be between Deke Surf, Castleman, and Chico. But Chico does need to get by Castleman in order for him to have a shot here. His Deke Surf is just pulling away. AJ looks to have been able to pass Ludens into that hairpin again. He likes making overtakes there. And my voice is shot before I even started broadcasting, and I'm telling you it's going to be shot even worse. Took painkillers though, I should be okay. Yeah. Dead air is the best air. Oh, if you follow anything military, the B-21 bomber has formally been announced, and it will be revealed. B-21 Raider will be revealed in December. B-21 Raider is the successor of the B-2 bomber. Northrop Grumman released a press article about this week. So we will be getting in the United States the next generation of bomber, which honestly, can we just all hug and be friendly with one another? But I mean, the United States and the military-industrial complex won't have it any other way. So we have another extremely powerful, extremely expensive military machine on its way. As Tuck has DRS, ERS, as coming down to make an overtake on Evo, and is successfully able to do it, making the point that he should be the #1 driver here. I don't think Evo's going to let that place go. He's going to come right back at his teammate. He's like, you know what? No. I know our teammate's stuck, but I want that position back, and I don't care what it takes. I'm going to come get it. I'll even send it in an aqua mineral. Well, he is on the faster tire, but 12 laps, the medium runners are going to start to slow down here in a bit, if they haven't already. Alright. Major Castman gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as Deeksurf pits. Major Castman pits. And Chico stays out. Deeksurf now on the hards has a long lap to heat up those tires and to get himself up to speed as Chico is coming around turn 7. And I think he is going to pit here, so we will see. AJ is just doing some work. Really wants to get around Evo badly. Oh, keep it clean, gentlemen. Oh, he kind of over-revved. Oh, he goes on the inside and he's able to overtake. Very beautiful. Very clean, very beautiful. Now AJ has his sights set on Tuck for P3. Well, not P3 on track, but it's really like a net P8 because there have been a lot of people that pitted. But now with Slick Rick being the head of that line, it looks like that's going to slow down Deeksurf quite a bit, considering Slick is on those old tires. Maverick gets a 3-second time penalty. If Slick knows what's good for his team, he'll let him through here without any issue. So let's see if he lets his teammate by in this situation. Does he let him through? Deeksurf comes through. I think that was a clean pass. That was good team play between the two Mercedes drivers. As Chico pits, he seems to have gotten himself a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Major Castman is up to 11 seconds, which currently puts him down into P9 based on the current Delta times. How many people have pitted? So we still have a few people who still need to pit. They may be hoping here for a safety car because that would play beautifully into their hands. Alright, let's stick with that. Go back to here. Yeah. So we are coming up to the end end of life on those hards. But AJ, Sealy, and Evo are definitely going to be on the quicker tire here. As Major Castleman makes that overtake easy on Slick Rick heading down turn 1, which seems to be the best overtaking spot so far. Now, Slick Rick does not want to get passed again, so he's probably going to do his best to keep Wet Noise behind him here. Just a reminder, they are on the same exact tire, so this fight for P6 is definitely not going to help Chico back in P8. That is for sure on the much faster, fresher tire. That was wide, but I think it was fair. Wet Noise keeps it in track and is able to make that overtake. And is up into P7 now. So let's take a look at 16 laps now. Yeah. We'll keep that up for the time being. Major Castleman, just the fastest lap of the race, so 1:18.3. As Chico is able to get past Slick Rick here again into the first corner, and now needs to hunt down Wet Noise on those 16-lap-old hards. Ludens has set the fastest lap with 2-lap-old hards with a 1:18.3. And I think this is going to be pretty decisive as long as Chico can keep himself firmly planted going through the final 2 corners with much fresher tires. Oh, and he gets a little bit of wheel spin, which gives Wet Noise the opportunity to pull a little bit of gap here going into the final 2 turns. Chico's going to have to really try to keep it tight in order to get a good exit and able to overtake down to turn 1. Sealy Harvey does his first pit stop, adding to 17 laps on those tires. And it does not look like Chico is going to be close enough to make an overtake into turn 1. Sealy Harvey is now on a fresh set of mediums with 0 laps. And AJ and Evo continue to go out on those hards, really hoping for a safety car bet at this point, because that's what it's going to take for them, honestly, to have a chance at first place here tonight. Wet Noise did get a little squirrely there, so maybe Chico will take his chances. Oh, and Wet Noise goes a little bit wide. Chico's lining himself up to potentially make an overtake here in Aqua Mineral. He is close. He is hitting that ERS. Going side by... he backs out. But Wet Noise has done a wonderful job here working to keep the Red Bull behind. As we go around again, the final 2 turns, but Chico's a lot closer this time, 5/10ths back. And Wet Noise pits knowing that it was inevitable. And Chico is up into P4 now with a 5-second penalty. But a wonderful defense by Wet Noise. Was able to hold Chico off for about a lap and a half. Or 2 laps, I'm sorry. And now we ride on board with Sealy Harvey, who's on those fresh sets of mediums. Following behind Tuck and Everlasting on 4-lap set of hards. This is going to be the battle between the hards and the mediums. But knowing that the mediums is the faster tire here, I don't think that Sealy's going to have much difficulty catching up to Tuck and making the pass. The question is towards the later part of the race whether or not those mediums are going to last for another 13 laps and be competitive. I think yes, from what I've seen the tire do so far in the race, but we still have another 13 laps to go to find out which tire is going to be better in the second half of the race. Now, Evo again, working his way back up to P1. Evo on those 19 lap old tires. I'm wondering what the strategy is, if Evo is just hoping for a safety car here, or if he is planning on going to the softs, which truly are not a fast tire around here. You may get about 8 laps before they really start to fall off. So if he is looking to do that, he still has a few more laps to do. But if he pits right now, that will probably put him down somewhere near P11. So he can make up some places with this fresh set of softs while everyone is on slower rubber. So while we wait for this battle to develop a little bit more, we'll ride on board with Sealy Harvey, who's sitting in 9th place. Again, like I said, on those quicker medium tires. Now he's closed the gap down to half a second behind Tuck and Everlasting with P8. He's on those 5-lap sets of hards. As they come over the crest down to Aqua Mineral, Sealy is able to hang very close with Tuck as we see Evo pitting, and I imagine this early he's going to be going on the mediums, which yes he does. And he is coming out of the pits now, and AJ sets the fastest lap with a 1:17.9 on mediums. Evo is still working his way out of the pit lane here, as Sealy does make that overtake, and Evo comes out right behind his teammate Tuck Everlasting at P8. Now with Evo on those faster tires, I am not surprised if Tuck will just let him through at the next available opportunity once Evo catches up, so that he can have another go at Sealy Harvey. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm getting confused. Yep. While this is a team game, I could tell you definitely that these two are a competitive bunch. They're very fast, very competitive, but they are also good team players, so we'll see what they decide to do here in a few more laps. So Calculus on 14 lap old hards. He is going to have to pit again. So we will definitely be hoping for a safety car, or at least a virtual safety car, so he can switch over to mediums or even softs at this point to finish the race on those. But Deke Surf hanging out in P1 pretty much by himself, with Major Castleman having a bunch of penalties at 11 seconds, enough to go around the field and give everyone some time. But he has 11 seconds, and honestly, as far as penalty time, it's Imola. It's another one of those tracks where you could definitely get time penalties. We do have a yellow flag sector 3. It does look like Ludens has spun coming out of turn 15. And with that said, he is going to go into the pits. And he may be retiring, or he may be changing his tires. But 7 lap old hards. Yeah, I mean, if you're in P13, you put on these mediums now. You get a safety car. You've already done your pit stop. You don't need to pit again. But let's see what happens. And we'll ride back online on with Eva, Tuck, and Everlasting. Gets a 3-second penalty, bringing his total up to 3 seconds. And this is going to be an easier overtake from Evo on Tuck, and who is now up into P7 Now has 1.8 seconds to chase down Sealy Harvey up ahead on 5-lap old mediums. As Chico is able to get ahead of Major Castleman for P2. And a reminder that Chico is carrying a 5-second penalty, so even if he does catch up to Deke Surf, he will need to pull a 5-second gap. So there are two things that can happen. Deke Surf can spin out. There could be a safety car. And that's pretty much what I think what their options are here. Probably the best option would be safety car. Chico pits to throw on some softs. Nullifies his 5-second penalty. Comes out right behind what I would imagine would be Deke Surf, because everyone will pit in that situation. And then he has a true battle for the lead of the race. Sorry. Now, let's not forget about AJ, who is not carrying any time penalty right now and has fought his way back up into the top 5 positions after having spun out battling Evo back on lap 14. And I think 5-lap old mediums versus 10-lap old hards isn't going to really be a battle here. AJ just needs to bide his time, wait until he gets back to the start-finish line, make the overtake easily, and then he could start hunting down second place. I don't know. Might have been a little too much weaving by Major Castleman. Well, he does go a bit. Whoa! Oh, and that is unfortunate. That is going to be a safety car. That is unfortunate. There's no way that's not going to be a safety car. It's just a VSC. Alright, well, that's genuinely unfortunate for AJ. Castleman coming back on track, hitting his rear tire, costing him a bunch of time. But I think the way that the VSC works is you might get that time back, but you can't overtake. That's the problem. That should definitely be a safety car, though, in my mind. I'm wondering, well, we also have been running it reduced, which might be why. That is unfortunate. I feel bad for AJ. My condolences. So we do have a virtual safety car right now. AJ is going to be stuck behind Evo. So now, yeah, we're not going to get a full safety car though, but if it was a full safety car, it'd be a bit spicy. Now, Chico, I think if it's still a VSC when he comes around, taking the opportunity to get the 5-second penalty off of him, throwing on a pair of softs, and then sending it for the rest of the race might be the play here. I mean, what the hell do you have to lose? Well, we're back to green flag racing, so I think it's a little too late for that. This Maverick gets a 3-second time penalty for drag limits. Now with 6 laps remaining, I think that is your race. We'll go back on board with whoa, side by side. I have not seen side by side in that corner in quite a while, as they were beautifully able to fight through with each other. there were a few words shared in the chat that I needed to step in quickly and get on top of. But mistakes happen. Just a game. When you go to your refrigerator later to grab that half-eaten sandwich and to have a nice cold glass of beer or milk or seltzer, whatever you drink, you're not going to remember this, are you? It's just a game, and I'm streaming to myself. I'm 99.9999999%. Nobody's watching the stream. I'm just talking to myself. So, in case I'm not talking to myself, we have 5 laps remaining to go. And, yep, I am talking to myself. We have 5 laps remaining. The Deeks are currently in P1, followed by Chico in P2, Chase Ace in P3, Sealy P4, AJ P5, Evo, What Noise, Slick, Calculus, Maverick, Evens. The 4 people have DNF'd: Castleman, Dex, ACR, and Wrath. So Maverick carrying that time penalty, but as long as he does get across the start-finish straight, he will pick up some points. There's still 5 laps left. AJ is back up to P5 behind Silly Harvey. I think this is going to be his last overtake of the race, unless something happens up front between Chase and Chico. Or either Chase or Chico. Man, I've never been in a race where I've been in the lead and 5 seconds ahead. The closest I came to that was the race in France for Season 3, which decided the championship for the Gold division, where I had practiced like nobody's business. So I did 1 lap in qualifying and got pole position, which was my first pole position ever. And I held on to it, and I had a shit lap too, which shows how much I no-lifed it for the entire weekend preparing. And then I pulled like a 4 or 5 second gap to P2, and then my game just started to have a seizure. And I had to rush to close a whole bunch of applications in the back end. Lost the entire tire gap, and I had to really race for the rest of the race between Tall Tech and Kebby. For the rest of the race, the 2 Alpha Romeos, I'll never forget it, and me, the lone Red Bull, just losing my mind trying to get up to up to P1. And what had happened was Tall Tech blew his tire because he was on I don't even know, like 20 lap old parts, and just didn't really work out. As AJ makes the overtake on Silly Harvey again into turn 1. But Silly Harvey definitely does have the opportunity to come back and pick up some more points. But I'm pretty sure AJ is in a hell of a mission. 2.3 seconds behind Chase. He's definitely eyeing that podium. And with Chase on 16 lap hards, I think AJ definitely does have the ability to get a podium place here right now. If he keeps it clean, doesn't spin, doesn't get excited, and you could see, whoops, I'm on the wrong screen here. Already closed the gap by half a second behind Chase. Chase really wants that podium. He's got 2 more laps to hold off AJ. And if he can do it, he'll be on the podium. So this is the final battle of the night for P3. Chase has emptied his ERS, and he's going to have to conserve as much as he can through the rest of this lap with any hope to be able to stay away from AJ once they come around again for lap 32. AJ is hunting for that P3 position, so it's going to be very interesting the rest of this lap. And if we ride on board with AJ, he also only has 10% ERS. So they are both in harvesting mode, getting ready for the last few chances here at an overtake for that final step on the podium for P3. We are going to stay live here for the rest of the race as we watch AJ and Chase battle it out. Coming down into turn 14 and 15 for the second to last time. The 3/4 back. ERS is wide open. ERS is being deployed. Chase is deploying his ERS, trying to stay as wide as possible, going into turn 1. AJ has made the overtake. And AJ has brought himself into P3. With Chase behind on older, harder rubber. So I think AJ has this in the bag, but that was still a very noble fight. And we'll ride on board for the fight between What Noise and Celie Harvey. As I think this is going to be the last battle of the night. With 8% left. Yeah, he's gonna dump. They're both dumping. Yeah, he's definitely not gonna try to send it here. Ooh! This is your last chance. What are you gonna do? That's it. Oh, lock it up. By What Noise? And out of the last corner for P5. And that is your race order, ladies and gentlemen. Big Surf has taken the win of the race. And Chico in second, AJ third place, rounding off our podium. Followed by Chase, Celia Harvey, What Noise, Evo, Tuck, Slick Rick, Calculus, Maverick, and Ludens. And now, while we close out this session, just reminding you guys that we are broadcasting live on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. But if you're here, you already know that. And if you're here, you're probably from Modi. I am your commentator, your broadcaster, your lead daddy, No Theory. I really enjoy doing these, and if you really appreciate it, then feel free to leave a like, a comment, subscribe. Send me flowers, send me money, I don't even care. But as long as you're loving this content, feel free to stick around and engage with us. Our Discord link, I think, it's the comment section, but if not, yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that is our race end with Deeg Surf taking his first victory of the season. And AJ coming after Chico taking P2, the highest position finishing so far. And AJ being able to crawl his way back up to P3 for the last podium slot of the table. Or whatever. I've been your sick commentator, No Theory, for the last hour and a half. Thank you so much for joining in. And what do I do now? I put us in the end of stream screen. So thank you very much, guys, and take care.